Good morning, Year 6. So yesterday on Monday, we looked at the sound collector and we had a look at what shapes our poem was going to have. So we followed the shapes of the sound collector poem. So today we're going to start writing our Christmas collector poem. Now for this, you probably need 2 pieces of paper. So one piece of paper that you're going to publish up your final poem stanza by stanza. So you're not going to publish it all up in one go. We'll do it at the end of each session. And another piece of paper where you can draft ideas, come up with rhymes and things like that. So if you need to grab those, then you can pause and grab those. If you've already got those, then have a look here. So here we've got all the shapes of the poem that we came up with yesterday. So what I want you to do is have a pause of the video and see if you can remember without peeking what each shape means. So try and remind yourself of the structure of the poem. Okay, so today all we're going to do is look at the first 2 stanzas. So all the writing you're going to do today is 2 stanzas, so not much writing. We are going to look at the top of the poem, so the introduction, and we're going to look at the morning stanza. So on your plain published piece of paper, you might want to do yourself a nice fancy Christmas collector title. If you want to do that before we get started, then I would pause the video now. Okay, so let's have a look at the top stanza. So this stanza, so this is the example one from the sound collector so that you can remind yourself, you can use it to help you. So this stanza is all about introducing what kind of collector is in your poem. So you are going to introduce the theme of the poem. So it's either going to be Christmas or winter, depending which one you're writing about. Now, what I've also said is try and remember to stick to the rhyme scheme. So to help you, I have underlined. So we've got grey and away. So you want your second and fourth line to rhyme. Now, you might on your draft piece of paper want to think about a word you're going to use on one of the lines and come up with some ideas of words that rhyme with it. What I would suggest is you have a go at drafting it up on your draft piece of paper, and then when you're happy with it, when you know it makes sense, when you know it follows the pattern, publish it up on your finished piece of paper, okay? But make sure you're happy with it before you do that. Now, to help you out, I have written a stanza here of my own poem called The Halloween Collector. So it's showing you how you can change this poem to your own, but it's not going to be too similar to your poem. Now, Halloween I found pretty tricky because there's not a lot of different things related to Halloween. So hopefully you will find it a little bit easier to do Christmas. So if you are stuck, have a look at the sound collector example and have a look at my Halloween collector example. In my example, I've also underlined the second and fourth lines to show you that they rhyme. So pause the video now and have a go at drafting up a stanza. So it has to be 4 lines long. It has to introduce the idea of the person who's taking Christmas away and try and rhyme the second and the fourth line. So pause the video now and have a go. Okay, now, easy peasy. So the second thing we're going to do, and the final bit of writing, is we're going to write our next stanza, which is all about the morning. Now, this one I found very tricky for Halloween because there's not much associated with Halloween morning, but I know that there's lots of things that you can write about a Christmas morning. So, again, the example from the sound collector. So obviously these are all sounds that you hear in the morning. Ours doesn't have to be sounds. It can be things of the morning of Christmas, okay? So it could be sounds, it could be what you see, it could be how you feel, things like that. Again, like before, have a go at drafting some rhymes. Draft up your stanza before you put it onto your final piece of paper. If you really want a challenge, this stanza was one of the ones that repeated the word the. So all of the lines started with the. Now, you don't have to do that. If you look at my Halloween one, I haven't done that because I found it tricky to think about things in the morning of Halloween. But if you want an extra challenge as well as rhyming our second and fourth line, then have a go at starting each of these lines with the. So pause the video now and have a go. Okay, so that is all the writing that we are going to do today. So you should so far have a nice title of your poem, and you should have the first and second stanza. And that is all we're going to do. Make sure you've published them up on your final piece of paper, because then when we get to the end, you don't have a lot of writing to do, because you'll have published it as we go. So remember to check back tomorrow. So we're going to write the next few stanzas.